Hey everybody, Rhadamant here. Thanks for tuning in to Stationeers. So, last episode we got some flooring done, and I think I'm going to continue that trend of actually, I guess, sort of flooring and sealing up the whole base. And if there's anything that you think I've overlooked that are things that I need to do, I guess now's the time to let me know, because I'm sort of walling it all up, and soon I will not have time to fix this kind of stuff. So I probably won't. This isn't for full pressure seal. This is not that episode. This is definitely prior to that episode, but I think because I have access to the crawl spaces, I can start to really fill out the area and make it look nice. So as you can see, that looks a whole lot nicer than it did just moments ago. But that also means waiting very patiently for walls to be manufactured. So let's get those going. I'm going to crank out a whole bunch of steel sheets. I actually also might need a new batch of steel. It depends on how much of the flooring and walling and ceiling and all that kind of stuff I get to. Alright, so let's take a quick look. Yeah, I would say that looks aesthetically pretty pleasing. Now, of course, there aren't lights installed. I'm aware of that. What I think I'm going to do is put the lights sort of on the center here. And I'm also going to have to figure out about... maybe I need lights. Maybe put wall lights there as well. I'm going to have to figure out exactly what that last battery's for. Probably base lighting. Sort of base atmospheric lighting of sorts. Seems pretty fitting. So, let's get these lights manufactured so that we can, you know, feel like we could close up the base to some moderate degree. And then maybe get some walls printed up as well. I'm definitely going to need steel. And, oh, was that just, yeah, that was open. Mold closed. I think the geometric ones are... I'm leaning pretty heavy. I mean, the flat ones are nice too. Let me just pause that. Keep it there. Because I don't want it to disappear while I queue up other ones. Where's the geometric? There it is. So let's make... Man, I wish I could hold a key and make more than just the one at a time. Or click one at a time. Alright, we're going to make 20 of each. We probably have plenty of lights now. Never turn your back for too long. I don't even know where these lights went. There's still maybe some lights floating around. If I'm installing lights, I'm going to need to be able to get frames built. So let's go do that. And then I sort of have to figure out how many lights will I need and where will they be placed, all that good stuff. And most of that is... trial and error of making them and then seeing how well they illuminate the space and then adding more if I need it or reducing it if it's like glare and killing my eyeballs. Alright, so let's put in the lights long here, and that's not so much gonna work, is it? Can this work? That might be able to work. I'm not entirely sure. But if we have the light pressed up so closely, let's duplicate that design. I'm also going to need a cabling, clearly. Alright, so can I build here? No, I cannot. Okay, gas sensor. What, is floor 1 gas sensor? That's going to have to move a little bit. First things first, labeler. And this is why you wouldn't want to... You wouldn't necessarily want to install all of the, you know, the things like, what am I trying to say? You wouldn't want to set this all up so that you had logic and all that, because the likelihood of things staying where they are and not moving is pretty low. Getting it right the first time is, in my opinion, a little unlikely. And as a result, you know, things will have to move, and when they move, you're definitely going to want some, you know, some mobility. And you're not going to want to start moving things around dramatically if it's all hooked up to logic. Because you're going to feel like, oh, well, if I move it, that will suck. Alright, so there we go. We have 2 lights. Now, I'm sort of curious how well illuminating that is, but there's no way that my 13 cable coils are going to be enough. Plus, I have to pick, you know, a color for this. So, first things first, cables. I think while I wait here to make some cables, I'm going to make some food as well. I am hungry in-game, or will soon be, and also, to be honest, hungry in real life. But I'll solve that one in, I don't know, 45 minutes or so. Alright. Not powered on. That's my bad. Oh, come on. I need to cycle it twice. Give me a break. I feel like watching the cable coils be manufactured is kind of like, I don't know, like a house of cards or something, where you're curious how high it will stack, and then eventually at some point it topples on over. Alright. Alright, some of the walls are getting done. I'm just going to do a rather large batch of fries just so that I don't have to worry about it for a bit. They're pretty easy. I think it's not the most filling food, but it's fast to eat. That's for sure. It's not pumpkin pie. Alright, that's probably enough for now. Yeah, it's over 50 cables. It's probably pretty good. I also need to do... I'm not going to do it just yet, but I will eventually need to do the battery logic and tracking and all that stuff that I did for everything else for the new battery that I'm about to use on these lights. Alright, you know what? I can just put this in my pack. Why not? Alright, let's start collecting this stuff. It's all different types. So these are our flat walls. There's 20. And then the GMX are coming out now. Color. So, we don't have a color for the power. Maybe a novel color. What is a color I haven't used yet? Brown, blue, purple, red, white, yellow. Yellow cables? Well, I believe we already have yellow paint. So, yeah, we'll have these be yellow or orange, maybe. Looks like I have a lot of orange paint. Where's my yellow paint? Alright, we already have a lot of orange paint, so we'll go with orange. Orange cables. Alright, that looks good to me. So let's see if these 2 lights, I'm sure they won't be, but these 2 lights, see how well they illuminate, and then add more as needed. At the moment, what I'm going to be doing is just connecting them to the battery, and then eventually I'll add in the logic that's required. Or maybe I'll do the logic, I don't know. We'll have to see. I might have to copy some of the IC code that I had previous. I don't know if I have all the logic in my, you know, at on hand. But yeah, yeah, now you can see why I've been reluctant to wall things off. You know, if I want to get to this this battery, clearly it's underneath flat paneling, and it's not so easy, right? Yep, there it is. So this will obviously connect to an APC and transformer that will be put here, and LED panels that will be put here. So if I want to put something on the wall there, I'm gonna need to disassemble this wall. Yes, all the more reason why you need to set everything up before you pressurize, because if I wanted to pressurize right now, all the pressure in the base would have to be vacuumed somewhere doing this little project, and this is just for the LED lights. So as you can imagine, jump the gun early, very, very, very bad. Or not bad, but just like reckless, I guess. I don't know how to describe it, but I'm sure you're following. Alright, so let's go ahead and get frames. I thought I had a big stack of... Here they are. And we'll plop this in. I said I'd do this later, but I'm sort of going to be stuck doing it sooner than later, so we'll get the LEDs going. Little kit consoles, because of course they're small LEDs as a result. Transformer, and I'll get these placed. There we go. Orange cables, okay. Next up, we're gonna need the transformer, okay, and some heavy cables, and yeah, okay, this is... Everything always gets expensive, right? That's just the way it is. So I've got my transformer now. I need an APC. That requires solder, I think. Power controller does indeed require solder, no problem. I've got 2 stacks of it, actually. Let's combine those. I don't know why I haven't combined all of those individual stacks. I think I actually did, but that was the episode that got corrupted and didn't air. And then I had to re-record for your benefit. Womp, womp. That's all I'm going to say to that. Alright, I don't want a satellite dish. Not yet, at least. Okay, for us to place these, we'll need a frame behind it. So let's plop these down. It's beautiful, stacking like that. Alright, let's get that frame going. Or actually, first, I need to strip out the walls. God, everything's always complicated. Kind of like it, right? If this game was not complicated, it would not nearly be as fun. The sense of accomplishment building complex systems that takes you hours and hours and hours to do is really rewarding. Well, for me, maybe not for everyone. I could see how some people could see this as monotonous or something, I don't know. Like a day job. I don't. To me, it's like Legos. Just really complex, science-based Legos. Alright, so that is now framed. And we will get the area power controller. But lower. And the transformer. Clearly, this line there is going to have to move. I did it much cleaner over there. So these blue cables will have to be rerouted. That's fine. What I should have done is kept my orange paint on me, because everything I'm going to be doing right now is being oranged. That's red. Yes. I can tell my colors. Alright. Plop this in the backpack. Grab the... Oh, you know what? These are... So blue... I'm just gonna call this HVAC. It's It's not really ventilation, but whatever. Because that's on atmospherics. No. Okay, so I did have a different name for it. HAC. HAC, power controller, and transformer. Atmo transformer, okay. Alright. I just don't want to be reinventing the wheel here. So, this is going to be, I don't know what to name this. Just call this, MISC. It's kind of a cop-out, right? Oh, whatever. I'm happy to cop out. Alright. There we go. Miscellaneous. Because I don't know what to call you. And then this battery is getting color. And you're going to be named Miscellaneous Stationary Battery. Oops. Without the little slash there. There we go. Now at this point, we're going to need the housing units for this thing here. This battery. And then we're also going to need heavy cables and the... Okay, yep, this becomes a thing, you know? Alright, so logic. We want the... housing. And we need steel for that. Is this, yeah, this is all done. All our geometric walls are done. So let's go get the steel. I keep bumping into walls. Maybe my my character here has like hypoxia or something. He's been wearing a helmet for like days on end now. Alright, IC housing. And yeah, then we'll get the logic unit printed up. What do I have here? I have coal, I just don't have the iron. I have a bunch of silicon too, but not going to need that just yet. Alright. How many? I don't have a lot of heavy cables, but it's enough to get a start.
Jetpack on.
So if we recall, let me down, please. Fine, I can't fit through. We've got this, so all the batteries are being fed by this red cable here. Vitals input, and this should... Oh, that's gonna have to go. So yeah, this thing should still have power input. Dang it, I can't see anything. If I can't see anything, you guys can see probably less than I can. This is why I shouldn't floor up too eagerly. I was excited to make some progress, though. Alright, so red coming in the back. Actually, you know what? I'm not certain it is. So before I go any further, let's float our LEDs so they don't go anywhere. Come on. Nope. There we go. And then we can remove the frames behind, because of course they'll float. And totally remove it. These won't float yet because they're not plugged in anything, but I can plug them in pretty quick. Done. That's all it took. We're gonna have to do a lot of rewiring around the blue cable systems, though. I know that much. I sort of expected that, but it will suck. Let's just say, not excited. Alright, I want to clean up these floating frames that I just discarded. One... No, should be another one. I don't know where it went. Alright, fine. So, power is going in. That's a junction. I mean, the battery wouldn't be full if it wasn't. And that's red in, orange out. So the orange is going to need to reach the back of this MISC area power controller somehow. Also have to remind myself, I guess, to just have small batteries in here. Yeah, so let's go grab another small battery, because I have one charged up from our, I believe, angle grinder, and we'll install that. Now, one of the reasons to have APCs, I know it's kind of redundant, but if, let's say, there's ever like a crazy power shortage, we can use the APC battery slot to temporarily power up stuff in the base. That's why I have the power controller. Because if, God forbid, I screw something up, we can slap a nuclear battery in there and keep things running while I fix whatever it is that broke or unpowered or whatever. Okay. So the housing is almost certainly done. Well, it's definitely done. I just haven't seen it with my own two eyes yet. There's the IC housing. IC chip.
Jetpack on.
Okay, so I have to figure out how to get orange in. Yeah, these heavy cables are going to have to do a lot of getting out of my way. I'm also going to need to manufacture some more heavy cables. So, how do we get there? Let's see. Sometimes it's easier to work backwards, like in reverse. So, I think maybe I could go up from here. Sloppy. Or less than ideal, I guess. I wouldn't say sloppy necessarily. Less than ideal, but I could go up from here. And then I'm just moving this little blue cable. And that's a lot less interruptive. Okay, so obviously the frames have fully and unbelievably disappeared into the nether. But you know what I could do? Now that we actually have somewhat of a structure of the base, I don't really need frames floating around in the crawl spaces. I was never really planning on having them, but at this point they're just making me not see the cabling. So I'm just gonna get rid of them. Now it's a lot easier to see what I'm doing. So the crawl space, as you can see, will look pretty cool. I mean, it will look like a little micro highway of cables and pipes, and you get to see the like innards of the base. I don't know. I think it'll look pretty cool. Just my 2 cents. All right. So if well, I'll just drop this stuff for now. We're gonna have to reprogram that, and of course switch the manufacturing computer to the IC programming chip, which is here. Yes. IC editor, and then I might steal the code off of an old project and install it. Oh no, is that it? Yeah, that's it right there. Still in there. Cool. Well, that will cut down on that effort. All right. Need heavy cables, don't I? I was trying to think what I was waiting on. Get a few of those printed up. By a few, I mean many. At this point, I also need to remove the walls here, or somewhere around there, because I'll be putting in the IC stuff. Oops. Yeah, I think if you aren't all that organized, as you can see very, very quickly, a base can become unwieldy. If you aren't keeping, like, I'm constantly stacking things together, like combining stacks of stuff. If you didn't do this, you would get just one giant heap of nonsense. And, you'd have an entire episode of, like, essentially cleanup, I imagine. which is what I'm desperately trying to avoid, is ever having, like, okay, well, I mean, I probably wouldn't do it on camera, but this episode, I'm just gonna, like, clean up my big old mess that I made. Yeah, that'd be pretty gross. Alright, so now this heavy cable has power, and what we're doing is we are going to power this, oh, come on, power this up like this. And I'll need to move the small cable here, but that had to be moved anyway because it's blocking the exit of this transformer, so that I already knew had to go. The best way to do this is copy the color. Oh, stupid. Yes, I will angle grind you. Let's drop these panels out. They're just ticking me off, getting in my way. Yet again, littering, and I'm gonna have to clean that up. Or plus, you could also just like lose stuff. Like that right there almost got lost. So this is flat walls that I'm holding. For now. Just put them there. Okay. Let's see here. This cable could go down. And then whatever was that needs to get plugged in above it can be rerouted somewhere. So it could get rerouted over here. Not a clean solution, but a solution. I actually could get rerouted right there. It's actually really not that bad of a solution. Come on. There. So now, this gas sensor, yeah, is now plugged in. I guess it was just for the gas sensor? Of course, I could run around and double check that everything does turn on, eventually do, or just hook up a network analyzer and see everything that should be connected to the system is indeed connected to the system. There's a lot of different ways to do it. So at this point, did I stop? No, I did not stop my heavy cables. Well, I did now. This is, of course, is probably more than I need, but I don't mind having a stockpile. That way I don't have to manufacture them every time I have a desire. Okay. So this orange cable has the power, and it needs to connect over here. So this is just going to go straight up. And that all these cables will be tucked behind walls. So we won't be able to see them. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a token door in there and just leave the door open. There is, however, a pipe there. It's a little complicated. And, oh, well, actually, this isn't heavy cable. That needs to be normal cable. Alright. This cable's run is gross. But it is functional, so all that, of course, will be hidden. It just has to be crazy pathing for the sake of, the sake of the pipes and all that. I don't want to reinvent the wheel. Alright, the other issue is, yeah, now that we are deciding that lights, these miscellaneous are on orange, we will set them up appropriately. Now, coming off of this this should be able to turn on, yes, and that is being fed power from the battery, as you can tell, because if it wasn't, the APC would be flashing. Well, drawing power or whatever. Okay. Now we need to connect everything orange to this orange network. So this orange network, initially, I think, oof, where can it go? It wants to go down, but that pipe, again, is sort of in the way. So we're going to have to cut through the pipe. Oh, I could corner it like this. Oh, this is so ugly. But it corners straight into a light bulb. That's not going to work. I guess it has to go up, but then the heavy cable will have to move a little bit because they intersect. Alright, that's fine. That's how I will solve this. So let's get out my heavy cables. Man, this orange heavy cable really has to do a whole lot of running around. It's getting the proverbial shaft. In fact, that might even be a better pathing than what I had before. Yeah, that's honestly just cleaner than the weird loop-de-loop circles I was doing before anyway. Alright, so that's still connected up. Alright, and now for the small cables. Now, the small cables need to connect over here, eventually, to these LEDs. And to the IC housing that's below them. So here is orange power. And it's going to immediately intersect. We do have some lights here. I'm sort of tempted moving this this blue heavy here, but I'll probably end up working around it. This last network is going to be a bit of a Frankenstein. But it is for the lesser important miscellaneous of lights and whatnot, so if it's a little messy, it's not going to kill me. Alright, so those are connected to one another, but they're not actually connected to a power source. So, let's get it to a power source. So the power is over here. And we want to run cables. Come on, let me... God, there's pipes everywhere. I'm just bumping my head. It was kind of an elegant run there, going through all those pipes and corners and all that. Okay, so now that is actually plugged in, and as you can tell, I got light. These sidewalls aren't yet, so that's the next goal here. What I will do is, how to get the power down? I could bring it down this way, I guess. Oh, I forgot there's a window there. That's why I wasn't able to lower myself. There's windows everywhere. Let me down. Alright, so now the power is all the way down. And this can be a junction or even a forward junction. Grab the additional cable coils. And now this light will turn on. Ta-da! My only concern is the door might not want to be placed here anymore. So what I'm going to need to do is build the door and put it in and see what its build restrictions are. Because some doors don't like cables running through it. Some don't care. I have to figure out exactly how fussy just a random door is. Not a fancy door. It's a door for aesthetics. So, kit door. Iron and copper. Let's grab that. Iron and copper. I like how it spews out all the specialty ingots first. Guess I'll put them away. That kind of looks cool. Just how much stuff's going on over there, you know? Alright, there's my door.
Jetpack on.
And come on, let me sneak through here. Alright, so the door, a composite door, doesn't mind the cabling, but a glass door does, and I probably will have a glass door. So, because it's prettier, I guess? I don't know. So I gotta figure out exactly what this door doesn't like. It doesn't like the heavy cable too, I think. It's a little bit of a complicated fix, but I'll work around it.
Power low.
Power low? Alright, I'll fix that. So glass door, there we are. And this thing is gonna be always open. It's just aesthetics. That's how it will look. Okay, so I'm gonna fix my power issue. Oop, gotta go into the suit.
Power critical.
Powerful. 2 words, not 1. Alright. Working through this issue now. So there's a big old light there, which is going to stop us. So how do we connect these two things? How do I get... Because as you can see, it's blinking and going to run out of power. How do we get over there from where we are elegantly? The elegantly is the catchword. Because, yeah, the lights block, the door blocks. I'm just trying to figure out where the cables... So the door doesn't mind cables at the top, but bottom is bad, and sides are bad. So I could alternatively go... Well, that's pretty imperfect too. I'm just sort of brainstorming here. See, I can't even pass through there. I could pass through here, like that. Come up on the other side. I really hope I don't have to do any maintenance on this cable, because it will be the worst. So this cable is... Oh god, this is so dumb. You all know it, so I'll just express it. This is messy and terrible. Alright, Mr. Cable. Now these tables are in your way, is it? I can move the tables to the other side. I totally arbitrarily put them on one side, and they don't need to be on that specific side. So... I can grab those things later. Alright, so bench. Guess what, bench? That is a floating bench. I mean, it's floating anyway, but I mean, I can't leave it where it was, because it would be... Oh, the only issue with this bench right here
Caution.
is it's blocking the window. So I'm gonna fix all this later. Just I don't want to block my window. I'm just putting this stuff down. All right, now back to the fries. And the heavy cables. Alright, so, we have to go up here. This will be the spot. I can't do it in the middle of a window. That will look extra terrible. And then... This is not too bad. It's a whole lot of heavy cables, though. Way more than I think is ideal, but it's functional. And that's, I guess, what I'm, that's my personal triumph. Alright, so now, this bad boy is back online, as you can tell. And, I totally blocked light access there. So, let's fix this while I'm staring at it. That, we don't want to mix heavy and light cables. That would be bad. Alright, there we go. Might not look like much to you, but it smells of success for me. So this cable, this light cable, this low power, low wattage cable, or whatever you want to call it, now can travel over to the other side. And it should be pretty easy from here, now that I'm not finagling tight spaces and all that. Alright, that's gonna go up. And can I do a corner here? No, I can't. Alright. I lied. Not gonna go up, it's gonna go down. And this will go down. Wow, this is gonna go for a bit of a twist. Trying to get these two things to connect is ridiculous. Because there's so many cables on so many different levels that are in the way. I guess I can connect them up here and then have them drop back down. I don't know. God, I would hate to look at, like, the architectural plans of houses that weren't, like, planned out all that well. I'm sure the inner workings of a poorly designed house are probably atrocious. And this isn't even all that bad. I keep cleaning up my own mistakes because they're virtual and easy to clean up. Alright, so now, alas, this doesn't turn on yet? Oh, because these lights are just plugged into one another, but not actually plugged into anything useful. That's on me. Alright, that means orange. Well, first off, we're gonna want data out of this battery, so I'm just gonna run cables over. I'll even plug in this door, although, like I said, it's not ever gonna be closed. The reason it's not gonna be closed, if you're wondering why I keep saying that, is, if I close it, the atmosphere in the base gets all wonky because it's supposed to all be one cell and not split up. And that's why I have heaters and coolers. Alright, so what is actually plugged in? Is nothing plugged in? This orange cable up here holds power and ends here? No, it goes down. Where does this go? Alright, I need to take power from here and bring it somewhere useful. Just thinking about that. Because, yeah, this is the... Is it true? Yeah, this is the closest power that I have to the network, because that goes up, this goes down. Alright, so we need to connect these two things. I actually might not even have enough cabling for it, this task. So what I think I'm going to have to do is bring this orange cable up here, this way. And run it to the ceiling. And then connect the power I've got up here to it. Which is kind of a long run, but again, just doing my best. Yeah, that was probably the best way of going about this. Alright, the flicker. And then we'll connect up there once I have a few more cables. Let's print those up. Cranking through the copper, huh? And steel, for that matter. Alright, this is enough cables to finish this project, I think. Or this section of the project. And then I will, yeah. Have some headway. I gotta say, this cable network is a bit of a Frankenstein. I'll happily admit. So, now this orange thing has power, which means all these lights have power. Even the LED should have power. Yep. They're not obviously programmed into anything, but they have power. And as does this door. No, this door does not yet have power. Yeah, because that doesn't do anything. Okay, we could fix that. Real simple. That just is bringing this down. I don't want to use my last cable up, though, because I'll lose the orange color. So I'll just head over here and collect some more. I'm glad cables print quick. If they didn't, that would be a nightmare. You'd have to have like a bunch of electrical printers. Okay. Now the door will have power in a moment. Come on. Done. Glass door has power. All these lights have power. I'm going to turn off the lights for now. Yeah. That's a bit of a success. Obviously these things are floating like crazy, but that's okay. Alright, so that means that for this cable, these lights down here to have power, it's actually pretty simple now. I like how I was just trying to plug in a light and ran into just like a massive, epic rewiring, redesign, changing problem, you know. It's just, that's the beauty of the game, I think. I find it funny that you can easily run into just little snafus and it ends up costing you a whole lot of redesign time. And then the thinking is the tables, not that they're built where they need to be, but these tables are going to be on this like miscellaneous network too. Pretty much the whole lounge will be. So what I just did was to plug these in and into their own network. So here we are. The question is this enough light? It does cast some pretty hard shadows on the edges here, meaning that I might want a light here and here to mitigate those shadows. Of course, the main of the room looks pretty good to me. If I'm getting my reagent processors all the way down here... Oh, they just tumbled. I think what I'm going to do is... I'll put these things over here. For now. Safekeeping, right? Come on. Paint mixer, chemistry. Alright. Because this little corner of the base here is actually... I'm not going to say it's completed, but I don't really see that it needs to be redesigned all that much. Alright, one more thing. The IC housing and logic. Well, we're going to eventually install it here, but it can't go there just yet because it needs to get programmed. Alright guys, well that's all the time I have for this episode. I think it was pretty productive. If you have any tips, tricks, feedback for me, do drop me a line. Thank you all so much for watching. Thanks for all your support. Thanks for all the help that you guys supply via comments and code, pseudocode, that kind of stuff. Catch you all later. Adios.